What is up, everybody? Welcome to Outside the Cage. I'm Jalen. That's my boy Eric. How we doing today?
Doing pretty good. Another day, another dollar. Got to hit up the par 3 course, watch some Monday Night Football. So pretty solid day overall.
Yes, sir. Can't complain. All a good day. We got a exciting show today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Uncle Dana dropped a bomb with some fight announcements. I can't even think of one he dropped off the top of my head because there was just so many good ones. So we can rattle those off in a little bit. But first things first, we got to talk about fight night this past weekend. Fiziev versus Gamrot. Gamrot defeats Fiziev via TKO due to Fiziev injury. Fight was close both ways until then. But yeah, do you take anything from this from Gamrot? Do you look at him as he won, or is it just one of those bad luck things?
Bad luck things, dude. I saw that. I think that was the 4th main event this year that's ended in an injury on a fight night. Or was Ortega this year, or was that last year? Probably end of last year at this point, but maybe in a year span.
Yeah, year span for sure. Yeah.
And then there was Calvin Cater. He got hurt against. Yeah, I can't even remember right now, but I remember he got hurt, and then Aspinall got hurt in his, and then now Gamrot got hurt in his as well. So it just sucks, but it's a part of the game. Yeah, in my opinion, it was a pretty back and forth fight. It honestly seemed pretty even up until then. I kind of felt like Gamrot was going to be able to get the grappling going enough to scrap out the decision. I actually sprinkled a little bit on him right before that because watching the fights, especially in the apex, dude, I need to start favoring grapplers when it's in the apex more because that just, I don't know, falls right into their bag, I guess, for what they're good at and what they can do.
Definitely.
But I don't really know. I'm not sure what Fiziev's injury is. I think it was something torn in the knee. I should know that what the CLs are, but I don't. So yeah, I think Gamrot's probably ready to go pretty quickly again. I heard Jalen Turner threw his name out there for a rematch because a lot of people thought that Turner had won that fight against Gamrot probably half a year ago at this point, including myself. I thought Turner won that thing. So I wouldn't mind to see that, but there's a bunch of options at that lightweight division. So I'm sure they won't do a rematch because, like you say, unless it's for a title or just way down the road or has big stakes.
You know my rule on that. But I wouldn't mind one here. I feel like this is a really good matchup. Super high ranked guys. Great, both technical fighters. So I wouldn't mind one here. Yeah, I don't like it when like no one gets hurt and it's just like, But like, yeah, I wouldn't mind it here for this one. I'll adjust my my theory for this one. I'll change my stance.
Like if Aspinall and Curtis Blades were gonna run it back again, that wouldn't be a bad thing either, just because of the injuries. I got you. I like that. Yeah. And Bryce Mitchell in the co-main went out there, came out to Richmond, north of Richmond, was singing that thing at the top of his lungs. Pretty good song, honestly, really good song. And then brought the Bible out in the octagon. First time a Bible has been inside the UFC octagon. And then he was praying with Ige after the fight, saying that the fires in Hawaii are man-made by the rich people so they can take the land, which honestly, I don't know. I don't think that's even the craziest thing in the world, that part of it. You know me and my conspiracies. But, yeah, dude,
is he all right in the head?
All right. I don't know, man. I
mean,
he's
never acted like this before.
Not this crazy. He's always been kind of crazy about something.
You know more than me, but I feel like he's never acted like this weird.
Yeah, I think he's just had a spiritual awakening lately, and he wants to show it with everyone. I saw he was. Did you see his video call out to Suga today? Like a nice call out.
Yeah.
Said they can go halves on a farm together. Dude, one thing I thought was hilarious that kind of proves the point that we talk about is in that video, Bryce said, yeah, man, I mean, I know you've got to live your champion lifestyle. You can't be out working on a farm all day, so I'll do that for you. It's like, oh, you're in the UFC too. You're a ranked featherweight. You should also trying to be living that championship lifestyle. But it just kind of proves the point that you were talking about last weekend. He just kind of has other priorities in his life. And obviously, it's not a bad thing by any means, but I think it just means that you're not going to be a UFC champ because there's hundreds of people out there in your weight class that are giving their life to the sport as we speak. They're probably training or recovering or watching film or doing something. It's
Yeah.
you gotta have a pretty selfish lifestyle. I feel like when you're a top fighter, during camp, everything has to be about you, centered
Yeah.
around you. Your sleep, your eating, your health.
Being great's lonely. It's lonely at the top.
Mm, heard that. I was gonna bring this up later in the show, but I feel like it kind of fits in right now. Did you see the reports about your guy Izzy? The avalanche, the snowball keeps on getting bigger.
Yeah.
For anyone that didn't see, he had a DUI, I think it was, and he got charged with it. The news just came out today or yesterday to the general public, but I think it was 3 weeks ago, before the Strickland fight, is when it actually happened. So I think that right there kind of shows, kind of like what you were talking about, just the mindset he was in leading up to that fight. Just kind of proves another one of your points.
Yeah.
What do you got on that for us?
It was
That
for sure before the
situation.
Strickland fight.
I want to say I can look it up right now, but I'm like 95% sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of like proves everything that we said, and like kind of not the reason why, but you can see like where the mindset was, and it wasn't there. Um, I watch all of Izzy's videos, all of his training videos, everything like that, and like that's why I said like it just felt like there was no like so like how like Michael Jordan talks, Tom Brady talks, like when they get to the top and like they have to find things of like Michael Jordan would make up shit like, oh, this person said this, and then you ask the person, they're like, bro, I never said that, right? So it's like, Izzy just like there was nothing to be motivated for. Like there was nothing. I mean, yeah, Sean Strickland's says crazy shit. He's stupid, but like I don't know. It wasn't like anything like I don't know. There was no motivation there as the previous ones.
Yeah.
I think you look back at the Cannoneer fight, and that was a lackluster performance too. Kind of the same situation. He
He
just
just
still
was able to get through. He didn't get
yeah.
caught in the first round in that
It
one.
was just Cannoneer just wasn't good enough. I don't think. And then obviously there's no need to talk about the motivation there for Alex, but yeah, I think it's just the biggest threat to success is complacency. So I think like when you've been at the top so long and it's just like you can get complacent. And it's hard. Like it's hard to find motivation in different things, hard to find motivation in different fighters. We got lucky that he had the thing with Alex and then he came back and then that was obviously all the motivation he needed. But I mean, he swept the division. He was starting to lap these guys. So it's just like, you know, um, but yeah, I mean, obviously the DUI doesn't change the mindset. Maybe obviously it does because it's never happened before that we know of. So he was obviously locked in. So he just wasn't locked in. Um, it's hard to wake up. It's hard to wake up when nothing scares you and nothing like it motivates you. So it's like, what am I coming to training for? Like, I don't really care if I beat this guy or not. I don't think he cared if he beat Sean Strickland or not because he knows he's better than him. The world knows he's better than Sean Strickland. So like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, obviously we usually don't dig too deep into the fighters' like personal lives and their personal issues and stuff. But and it was August 19th, so it was 3 weeks before the fight. Kind of like the peak of training camp almost, it feels like.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's just, I don't know, everyone's human. Nobody's perfect at the
Yeah.
end of the day. I'm sure LeBron's got some crime out there he's committed. He was just able to get it covered up.
Yeah.
Another question I had for you. Speaking of, being able to stay at the top, it's tough, obviously. Out of the champs right now, which
Mm-hmm.
champ do you think will have their belt for the longest time? Like from now, so not total reign, but just like the longest out in the future from today. And which champ will lose their belt first?
So we got Pantoja, Sean, Volk, Islam, Leon, Strickland, Vacant
Vacant.
205,
Yeah.
and then John Jones. I think John Jones retires after, if you count that, but we're not going to count that. I'm not going to give that to you. I say the person who loses it, and you also got to think of activity, right? So, like, you can say Leon, but he fucking fights once a year. So,
Yeah.
I
So
think Leon,
technically, Volk might have a higher
I think,
probability just
yeah,
because he
Volk
fought.
probably, I think Leon keeps his for a while. Um, you have to see the matchup for Strickland at 85. That's interesting to me. Um, Pantoja versus Royval got announced, right?
Yup.
Um, okay, so the person who keeps it the longest is Sugar Sean Jones. Um, the person who loses it first is Sean Strickland.
Okay. I
I think I'm gonna go there.
I agree with those. I think either Sugar Sean or obviously you can't do this in picks. Nah, screw it. I'll be different from you. I'm gonna go Islam Makhachev because partially because of what you said earlier, activity. He's not the most active
Yeah, I'd
champ
probably
by
say
any
he
means.
probably keeps his the longest then. Yeah, him and Sugar Sean.
But Volkanovski, if that fight happens again, I think it'll be about even odds. Maybe Islam a slight favorite, but I think if Islam gets through that Volkanovski fight, he's gonna run 155 for a
Mm,
very long time.
yeah. You don't think Charles has a chance?
Mm, I don't know, man. Not really.
Yeah.
Unless Volkanovski really did just show all those 155ers that it's possible to fight with Islam. Like the thing I always say, the 4 minute mile concept. No one thought it was possible, but then hundreds of people started breaking the 4 minute mile as soon as one guy did it. So maybe
Yeah.
none of these lightweights thought it was possible to beat Islam Makhachev or that he was just some untouchable force. You know, people we always heard this saying the Dagestanis is just it's a different type of strength. And
Yeah.
Khabib had that myth around him that never got broken. I feel like Volk might have burst the bubble a little bit, so I'm interested, but I still like Islam in that Charles fight, definitely. And then
Yeah.
for shortest title reign, I'm gonna say Pantoja. I think Roy Val is a very good matchup for Pantoja. Have they? I don't know. Honestly, they might have fought before because it feels like all those top flyweights have fought at least twice. But yeah, I think Pantoja was a perfect matchup for Moreno. So
Yeah.
like Moreno still might even be a better fighter against all the other flyweights. I know that's
Yeah. It's
loser
all natural.
talk, but yeah, man, I got Pantoja losing it first, and I got Islam keeping it the longest. I thought that was something that crossed my head today. I was like, yeah, that'll be a cool little one to bring onto the pod. Don't really
Yeah,
have
it's
to
hard
do
to say because
research for it.
like as far as like a calendar day or like who keeps it the longest like calendar year like their own reign, it's hard, you can like that'd be easier than like who has their belt like this time next year because
Yeah,
it's all about activity.
because Volk's already had it for what, like 4 years almost, or 3 at this point.
It's crazy.
Bro, Volk is man. I like that he got on the cover, but I don't like the cover curse because those things,
Yeah,
dude,
it's just
across
when you
all
see what
sports.
happened with Izzy, you're just like that's gonna happen to him eventually.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, John, it's kind of hard to throw him in that same boat because it's not like he was in the sport the whole time. He had phases where he wasn't, living like a fighter, and then he got to get back into it, and he had a reason
Yeah,
because fighting was like helping him as a person, whereas Volk's not really in that boat. His life outside the cage, from what we know, seems already pretty well put together. I
yeah.
remember in Volk's last gender reveal, he already has like three or four girls. And he wanted a boy so bad, and it was a girl again, and all the little girls were like, yeah. And Volk's just like, man, I just want a little future 2040 world champ.
I know. Yeah,
Love
let's
Volk
get into the
honestly.
fight announcements, bro. I've been waiting. I know you got a list for me. I
Bro,
I know 'em I know them all if you told them to me, but honestly, there's so much that like I'm excited about. I just forgot. So let's
yeah,
start it off.
let me get it up. My list kind of got a little wacky, so I'm just gonna go off of good old Tapology. I'm a Tapology guy, not sure dog. But where should we start? So do we want to start at UFC 294, the Abu Dhabi card, just some of the ones that people might not know about.
Yeah, let's go in order. Let's go in order of like the cards that are happening.
Yeah, so we got UFC 294. That's the one. Bless you. That's the next pay-per-view we got in Abu Dhabi, headlined by Islam Makhachev versus Charles do Bronx Oliveira. A huge rematch, as we all know. They like to stack these cards. And then we got Paulo Costa and Hamzat Chimaev. Looks like a middleweight title eliminator as things stand right now. At least that's kind of what the general MMA fan population's been saying. I don't know, man. Like if Gilbert Burns is able to swing and bang with Hamzat for 3 rounds, wouldn't you think Costa would be able to?
He couldn't. He had to stand and bang with
Rockhold,
bro. He's not.
You have a Rockhold? I mean, no. Rockhold was that dude before he got old. But yeah, I got you. Like Gilbert was a 155er who got knocked out by Dan Hooker. And Hamzat threw him around a little bit, but I don't know. I just don't see Hamzat being able to do what he's done in his other fights to Costa or anything close to it. Honestly, I think he's going to have to win based off of cardio, which is going to be very interesting. A little bit of technique and skill mixed in there because I think Costa's just as strong as him. He's a giant, probably juiced up. And then a flyweight bout. We got one of your guys. I think Muhammad Mokaev, was that one of your top 5 in 5 years guys?
Yeah, he was.
We got him versus Tim Elliott. I think I like Mokaev in that one. I think has he not? He hasn't fought since his knee got like messed up when he won the fight. But was that on Abu Dhabi last year or no?
Have they been back to Abu Dhabi since? No, I think it was in Vegas on a fight. I don't remember.
Or maybe London or something like that. Like the Leon Usman too. I'm not sure, but Johnny Walker versus Magomed Ankalaev at light heavyweight, another fight on that card. That's an exciting one as well. Both of those guys, we got the number 1 versus is Ankalaev number 1 still? Topology has these weird rankings. I don't think he is. In the light heavyweight rankings, Ankalaev, he's not number 1, right?
No.
Okay. But he's up there, and so is Johnny Walker. They fight each other. So, our boy Trevor Peake got on that card as well, going all the way over to Abu Dhabi, taking on Mohamed Yahya. And we're going back to Brazil. UFC Fight Night in Sao Paulo. 6 p.m. Eastern time, so I had a pretty decent time for us. That is headlined by Curtis Blades and Yalton Almeida. It'll be interesting to see the 2 heavyweight grapplers up against each other. Yeah. See if Almeida is able to do what he's been doing to a high-level heavyweight grappler.
Yeah.
And
give me the bangers, really, bro. I'm here for the bangers. I want the banger fight announcements.
All right. Let me get you some bangers.
That banger dropped last week.
All right, so Madison Square Garden, headlined by John Jones and Stipe Miocic. We all know that. The ticket prices are through the roof for this event. I've been seeing some of them. It's nuts. Like, wow, I can't believe that's selling out. But hey, New York, people got money over there, I guess. For the UFC vacant light heavyweight championship, we've got Yuri Prochazka making his return after over a year out of the cage.
It's so crazy how I don't hate Pereira. I like Pereira a lot. I just obviously I have a competitive beef with him because Izzy's my guy. But he's fucking in a lot of big fights, bro. A lot of it's because of Izzy, yes, but like even outside of that, bro, every fight he's had since then has been like he's just like in a big fights. Like he's fucking like I don't know what it is. He's just like a big time fighter.
Yeah, we got Alex Pereira taking on Yuri Prochazka for the vacant light heavyweight championship.
That is the matchup that I've been waiting for. Oh my god, that is such a great stylistic matchup. That's beautiful.
5-rounder?
What do you like in that
one? 5-round? Bro, I've been going so back and forth, but I've kind of been thinking Yuri lately.
It has to be some research on this. I doubt it's happened before. A heavyweight and light heavyweight title on the same card. The big body.
Getting the big boys up on there. That's elite.
That's fucking tough. That's a card. That is a card.
For the city of the New York Giants, they had to bring the Giants out. I respect it. Dude, guess how many combined fights Yuri and Pereira have in the UFC? It's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
they don't probably what Pereira's fought 6-7 times in the UFC. Yuri's
And
like
Yuri's
10, 11
fought 3.
in the UFC.
Yes. So they have less than 10 UFC fights between the two of them, and they're fighting for the light heavyweight world title. Yuri fought in his first UFC fight, he fought Volkan Ozdemir. Then he knocked out Dominic Reyes in his second one, and then he fought Glover Teixeira in the third one, and that's been it. Because he was supposed to fight Glover again, but it got canceled. That's just insanity, dude. Like the fact that he's already considered a top 5 name in that division.
Yeah.
He was a dog in Ryzen though, which is a pretty big promotion.
Yeah.
The UFC might have bought Ryzen for all I know, so maybe they kind of translated some of those. And he beat good guys over there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Do you think that Glover sharing the octagon for basically 25 minutes against Yuri and then doing a whole nother camp preparing for him, does that benefit Pereira at all since Glover's his coach?
Yeah, bro. I just think they're just fucking gonna kickbox, and it's what's gonna happen, bro. I think everything's out the window. I think they're just whoever's the better man that day.
Yeah, I think if Yuri was smart, he would try to grapple a little bit at least, just because it's going to tire Pereira out, even if he's not looking for the submission, which he probably could get. I mean, if he was able to sub Glover, he could definitely sub Pereira.
Yeah.
Even though that sub on Glover, it's not like it was straight grappling. It was just kind of 5th round madness after a banger fight of the year.
Yeah.
And one other fight on this card, dude. I don't know how this is so low. It's the 3rd fight of the night right now. It's Matt Steamroller Frivola versus Benoit Saint Denis. Those are 2 guys at the lightweight division that I really, really like, especially Saint Denis, bro. He's the one French person that I think is just a dog.
Yeah.
He was French Special Forces, so he was like one of the hardest French people around, maybe the. And then he goes into the UFC, and he's been tearing it up. So I hope that fight gets moved up on the card, because that's way too good to be buried down there. And let's move on. So that's UFC 295 in November. I should have made some graphics for these.
I just rattle them off, bro. I want to hear them. I don't want to spend too much time on. I just want to hear them.
All right. Should we just skip to 296? I say we do.
Give me the big ones, bro. Give me the big ones.
All right, UFC 296. This card is looking stacked. So unfortunately, this is the December 16th card, the one that was rumored to be Conor McGregor's return card, which we never really were too confident about. And then it was also rumored that Suga would try to co-main it if Conor did get on it. Obviously, Conor didn't, which means Suga doesn't want to turn around that quickly. But we do have a pretty good headliner. It's Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington for the welterweight title. Finally, we get something to happen in that division. I think this has made everyone appreciate Kamaru Usman's reign a little bit more, just because he was putting that belt on the line 2 times a year, even 3 times, I think, for one of those years.
Yeah.
So let's ride. I mean, I kind of think Leon's going to get it done, but you just don't know until it happens. I'm not like huge on Leon or anything, but that's kind of my thoughts right now. How are you feeling about that one?
I like Leon. I think he's better everywhere. I think Kobe's pressure could be an issue, but I think Leon's too sharp. I think Leon's cardio doesn't get talked about enough. Just because Kobe says he has cardio and like keeps the pressure doesn't mean Leon doesn't have cardio, you know. Yeah, I like Leon. I just think he's better on the feet. I think he can stuff the takedowns. Yeah, I like Leon here, probably by decision in 5 rounds.
And I think so. And in the co-main event, we've got the flyweight championship. Alexandre Pantoja making his first defense or attempting to make his first defense against Brandon Royval. It's the co-main five rounders, obviously. And like I said, I kind of like Royval on this one. I haven't seen odds or anything for it yet, but Royval's been on a tear lately, so is Pantoja. But I don't know, just kind of a weird feeling. Not really any logic behind it yet.
Yeah.
And you might have thought, oh, main event and 2 title fights, no way they're going to stack this card. But Uncle Dana did exactly that. The third fight of the night, we've got Shavkat Rakhmonov taking on Steven Wonderboy Thompson. I can't lie, I'm pretty scared for my guy Wonderboy here. But dare to be great, right? I think Wonderboy probably gets a title shot if he wins this, or at least he's right back in the mix.
Yeah. Yeah, big one for him. Big one. Weird matchup. But yeah, big spot for him. I like it.
Very weird matchup because we'll get to why later on this card, but I have a reason. So right after this, another big name marquee matchup. Not really like title contender implications or anything, but just one that every fan's going to be tuned into. We've got Paddy the Bad Pimblett.
Bro, that's the one that I knew I was missing one.
Yep, Paddy versus Tony Ferguson, man. Just when we thought the UFC couldn't find anybody to help protect Paddy from the lightweight division, that is a monster to go through right now. They pull old Tony out from the 805 and throw him into the matchup.
Who wins?
I think Paddy.
Really?
Bro, Tony's just so old, man. You saw his last fight and the fight before that and the fight before that. But
Bro,
I mean,
Patty's
Tony's
not very
obviously
good.
Tony's a way higher level martial artist. But I mean, he's just taking so much damage and he's just so old. But if there is a fight, I will say, if there is a fight Tony could win, it's probably this one. So
Yeah, I'm interested to see the odds out for that one. When I first saw it, you know me, my first instinct as a gambler is like, what's the line gonna be? I don't think Patty can finish him.
yeah, maybe I don't know. Yeah, I guess Tony's shown that he's almost impossible to sub just because of, we've seen his arm almost get broken. We've seen his knee almost get torn into pieces, but he's just one of those weird flexible guys. But I don't know. I think Patty wins probably by decision, just kind of is able to skate around the outside, be more active. Might honestly end up, I think it'll be an entertaining fight, actually. Scratch that. No way it won't be Madison Square Garden. And if y'all thought that was all we had for you today, it's not. We've got another big welterweight matchup on the card, and this is where I was a little bit confused. We've got Ian Machado Gary, because I guess he wants to take his girl's name, which is weird.
Yeah.
We've got Ian Machado Gary taking on Vicente Luque.
Weird one.
And my thought was, why not just do Shavkat versus Gary if they're going to be on the same card already?
Shavkat versus Gary, or
yeah, Shavkat versus Gary. I think that's a fight that people would be really interested to see.
you didn't like Gary and Wonderboy?
I like that. I like that too. I just kind of want to see two young guys rather than an old guy fighting a young guy. And then Luque's not old, but just kind of a guy that we've already seen around the block for a little while, fighting another young up and comer. Obviously, they probably want to save that Shavkat and Gary fight for when they're both a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But I'm greedy. I'm greedy. Give it to me now. And I just don't like my guy Wonderboy getting thrown to the wolves.
Yeah. Yeah.
40 something.
Yeah, he should have took the Ponzinibbio fight.
Or the
Pereira.
Yeah,
I get them mixed up.
That's a way. Even I'd rather fight 173-pound Pereira than I would 170-pound Shavkat.
Yeah, but that's I don't know. Yeah, I mean it's disrespectful to him anyway. He's wonderful. He shouldn't be put in that position where he has to pick and choose. But yeah.
So that fight will be December 16th, as I said. So those are the big fight announcements up until the end of the year. nothing else really on the radar yet. I know Sugar was saying that he knows what his next move is. The UFC knows what the next move is, but they're just not announcing it yet, which means it's probably not until February.
Yeah.
Dude, wouldn't you think that like Sugar's a guy that you would want on UFC 300 though? And if he fights in January, February, I don't think he'll be able to turn around in April.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about 300 too much.
Yeah,
They're not going to scrap other things.
Timing is just everything. Timing is everything. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. That's why Sugar was out for almost a year in his prime. Timing's weird, bro. It depends all about division, bro. We could have got like 2 more like performances out of Sugar in that time, at least 1 more.
100%.
But I mean, it had to be for the title.
Yeah. There's a good bantamweight fight. I think it might be Rob Font versus Figgy at some point as well.
I seen that Rob Font versus Figgy.
I think we match made that one way back in the day, and it just never ended up.
I was trying to get Figgy everybody. I wanted it more than him. I thought he was a big fight guy at 35. Kind of died down now, but yeah.
Bro, he could have been a main co-main, but now he'll just be buried on a fight night, or not buried, but probably a co-main on a fight night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are the big fight announcements. You got any other UFC stuff on your mind right now?
I don't. I have nothing. Just want to say appreciate you, brother. Love this sport. Love what we do. It's a busy time of the year, but we stay active. Mm-hmm. We commit to this. We show up. We do what we do. Whatever happens, happens, baby. We're gonna get the betting picks right. I'm gonna lock in. We're gonna figure it out. I'm figuring some things out as far as the betting. I got some things cooking that I can't speak on yet. I got some things cooking. Yeah. Let's just say it's been a real good college football season. Let's just say that. But we got to transfer that energy and transfer that time and transfer those wins to UFC so I can give y'all some picks so then we can make some money. But
yeah, got to move it from the gridiron to the octagon.
Yeah. But till then, stay patient, continue to grind, keep showing up, chase progression, not perfection. We'll be all right.
This is really looking like it could be one of the best college football seasons in a minute as well, dude. I don't even know if Georgia's gonna win it by a mile.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking it's Georgia and everyone else, but now it's kind of feeling like
I like Michigan, bro.
Well, Michigan's good. They had the most guys come back too, right? From their last year's squad out of the good teams.
Yeah.
What about Florida State? Still high on them after the Clemson win?
Yeah, it's a tough game.
Yeah.
At Clemson, spread was 2 points, supposed to be close. Nothing wrong. It's a tough win.
Speaking of tough wins, the Arizona Cardinals, bro, they're a scrappy squad. I brought the Cowboys and their fans down to earth a little bit, but you don't want to be playing your best ball right now.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you don't
want to be peaking early.
2-1. A lot of teams would want to be 2-1. We're 2-1,
including myself.
You can't look at who you lost to and who you beat. You just look at the record and almost through the first quarter of the season, and we're 2-1.
Yeah, y'all play San Francisco kind of soon, right? Like in a few weeks.
Next week. No, not next week, but next week we have Patriots at home. Should be going.
That'll be an easy dub, y'all. I wouldn't mind if y'all hurt Mac Jones a little bit. Dude's a punk, bro. Grabbing saucers nuts out there.
Yeah.
All that Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift stuff, it doesn't annoy me, but it's just we've got so many good NFL and college football headlines to talk about right now.
So here's my take on it. My take on it is I don't think they have really anything in common. I don't know. They very well could. But again, they're celebrities. So if he wasn't Travis Kelce, if she wasn't Taylor Swift, they wouldn't be talking at all. But I feel like it's become such a thing that they can't, at least he can't, because you know how them Taylor Swift fans be.
Yeah.
He can't do anything to mess it up. And then he's kind of just can't be in. I think she likes, I think it's both. I think he's attracted to her because of who she is. But then it's also fuck, I don't really because you saw when he got caught up when he was walking out with her.
And he looked at the camera, kind of had the city boy look a little bit.
Hey,
I know that look. I know that look. That's when you're you're somewhere with somebody you're not supposed to be, or you don't want no one to know. I know that look, Travis. I've seen that look before. So that look was not fooling me. I know that look.
One person you're talking about when they're walking through the tunnel, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, one person posted the caption. I thought it was hilarious. They said, "From one scumbag to another, I know what Travis Kelce about to do in a couple months," or it was like something like that.
Yeah, I know that look, bro. It's like, I don't want someone taking a picture, but I also can't tell them not to take the picture. So it's like, that's the look. That's the look. But yeah, I don't think it's like a distraction. It's whatever. I mean, it's crazy. It's got this far. Like, who cares? But yeah, but I also think that the rumors of them like talking or him trying to get at her, I think they've been talking for a long time because you don't just pop up in a suite with his mom. I think
That's what I'm saying.
I think they've been like talking or been a thing for quite some time.
Yeah, probably, bro. And Kelsey might have even been doing it just to like, I don't know, to bag her, just to be a dog. Because Taylor was she's the talk of the town over the summer with her tour and the crazy ticket prices. I felt like I saw her on my Snapchat every night at some different football stadium. Someone I knew was at her concert.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Travis was just doing it, just to be a dog, just check one off the list, another kill, another bird. But also I feel like since it's the Chiefs, it doesn't really matter because they're almost like how the Patriots were, where they're going to be in the playoffs no matter what. So they could have all these other storylines and stuff right now, and they'll still probably make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think
in the winter.
you also got to think of like who it is and who they are. Like, who it's not a distraction. Who cares? It's Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
He's chucking shows up in balls anyway.
Facts, dude. Miami, don't let Miami get the 1 seed and not have to go play in the cold. And don't let Tua stay healthy.
I know.
He's really like Drew Brees, dude. Like, doesn't have crazy arm strength or anything, but he just makes the right throw every time, and his accuracy is.
Yeah, well, the problem is the unfair thing is Mike McDaniel is going to draw someone open every time. That's already unfair. Tua's accurate as hell, so that's unfair because they're wide open and he's accurate. And 3, I saw a stat today. The 3 fastest recorded runs this Sunday, you saw that, was Tyreek.
Yeah.
It was Tyreek, Mostert, and Aikney. A chain.
Bro, where do they get these dudes from? I hadn't heard of Akane or whatever his name is before the season started. But yeah, don't let Tua stay healthy.
Yeah,
bro. Mike McDaniels is really looking like an NFL Lincoln Riley out here.
That guy. He's that guy. You saw what he was? He had like his sunglasses on. He was drinking out of the cup.
No,
he was, like,
during the game.
Bro, he like had like his like those shades he wears on, and he had like his headset on, and he was like looking at the scoreboard. He was like, like that, like drinking out of a cup. He's
a dog, bro.
He's a dog.
The Shanahan coaching tree, huh? He's a part of it.
Yeah,
like bro, Shanahan's dad with
Washington at one point had McDaniel, LaFleur, McVay, and Shanahan. Yeah, and they couldn't keep one of them.
That's crazy. It was RG3's rookie year, right? It was during that time. God, dude. And they went with whoever. Was it Shanahan's dad? He was the coach, right? What was his name? Mike Shanahan?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then did you see the things about the Broncos, how they didn't even consider Mike McDaniel because Shanahan had beef with some Broncos front office guy? So, like, they didn't even give him a look.
It's crazy. The Broncos sold. The Broncos, bro. Sean Payne talking all that shit.
Yeah. He's going to, dude, I think he's trying to tank for Caleb low-key. Yeah. I feel like Payton's an elite coach. Like, there's no way his team's going to give up 70 points.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he puts out a bounty on Russell's head. Starts telling the other D coordinator, "Hey, take this guy out. We got 50 grand."
NFL is just too hard, man. Too hard.
Hard league to win in, bro. Like how the Texans beat the
things just like go your way. Like the Vikings are 0-3 and they've all had like one possession games, like close games. Like it's just like hard, bro. The margin's so thin. The
Same with
margin's
the
so thin.
Patriots. I remember
Yeah.
in their first game, they almost beat the Eagles, and then in their second game, they had the inches play on the fourth down. And in the third game, I guess they beat the Jets, but who's not? But it's so sad for the Jets. Like, I think that was the best storyline of this whole season, was just gonna see how that experiment went. And
Did they go and
we didn't
get
even-
Kirk Cousins?
I think they should, dude. I think they really should. Or what if I was thinking this one? What if they traded for Kyler?
Yeah.
It's kind of a head case, but like,
I
I'm
think
sure
you
he's
do
got
Kirk. I think you do Kirk because it's just like 1 year.
Yeah, because I think Kirk's contract's up after this year too, right?
Yeah,
So
you're
it'd be
tied in.
perfect.
You're tied into Tyler. Yeah, so Kirk's the move.
I think he wins with that team too.
Yeah.
Like he'll put the ball in the playmaker's hands.
But I
let him
never
rock.
thought but it's hard for me to say because I never thought they were going to win anyway. I don't like their head coach. I think there's just no stability there. I think he's just I don't like his
Rah-rah
presence.
guy?
I don't like his presence. Like cuz the whole Hard Knocks thing, I didn't like it. I didn't like how he was just like scared to like say some things to Rodgers or like and he was just like glizzing over every throw he made and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I feel like they put so much power and gave so much power to Aaron Rodgers, who's not the most stable guy, I would say. I would say, history speaking, when shit goes wrong, he tends to run away. That's why they've never come back and won trailing in the second half.
It's kind of almost like Kyrie vibes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
he
just
ran out that bad of a teammate.
when it's going good, he's really good. And I thought that whole him in New York, how he was being the cool guy, it wasn't going to last. At the end of the day, you're going to be who you are. You're going to be who you are. It's anyone can put on an act for a couple games, for a couple weeks, but when shit started really hitting the fan and they lost a couple games, because it's going to happen. It's the NFL. That was going to be the true test. That was going to be the true test. And history tells me when that happens, he tends to.
I feel like one thing I've been thinking about lately, just like internally, is that being a quarterback in the NFL, even if you're amazing on the field, you make all the right reads, all the right throws, do everything, it's like that's still only a part of the equation, because you've got to be that guy day in, day out, like 7 days a week, a leader there for everyone off the field. Like your team has to buy in and they have to believe in you. What you were just touching on, like when shit goes south, you've got to be the one that's still confident and rallying the team around. Like Rodgers kind of just probably blames other people for stuff and doesn't, like we've already seen it with Mahomes.
In Hard Knocks, he had Randall Cobb tell the receivers if he doesn't trust him, they're not gonna get the ball.
Dang. Yeah, I didn't see that. But
yeah,
like Mahomes isn't saying that.
Yeah, basically, like what happened was like it was like after they were like in the meeting room, and Cobb came in and he was like, "Hey man, I gotta tell y'all something. If 12 don't trust you, you're not getting the ball. If you don't think you putting in the work, if you don't think you know what's going on, you're not gonna get the ball. Trust me, I played with him for 10 years. If he doesn't trust you, you're not gonna get the ball." It's like, bro, he didn't just say that randomly.
Yeah, that's facts, dude. And even like no one ever said Tom was like a better thrower of the ball than Rodgers, or he was more mobile, or even at a higher IQ. I think he was just a better leader at the end of the day, and his team always believed in him, and he was always like willing to do anything for his guys. It's like you could be the best DB or the best receiver in the world, and you could be a complete me guy, just like a selfish player. But when you're a quarterback, or even kind of like a point guard too, like with Steph, you see it. He's always looking to help the team out. Like when KD went there, he was willing to sacrifice his shots and his looks. I don't know. There's just those guys in sports. Like when you're going to be a winner at the top level, I guess unless you're like a Jordan or a Kobe, like you've got to be that leader too.
Yeah. And it's hard. That's why, it's hard to do. Not everyone wants to do it. If it was easy, everybody would do it. That's why I think KD can't win at a certain level. As much as he wants to hoop, like as much as he says, like I just want to play basketball, and that's fine. Like no one's ever. It's unfair to him for us to think he wants to be a leader when he's said multiple times he doesn't want to be a leader. He just wants to play basketball. But then also that's why you can't win without Steph. That's why him and Steph were the perfect combination, bro. Like there was Steph's team, Draymond's team, and KD's had to go out and hoop.
Yeah. Like I feel like Steph was happy to be the leader of the team, even if he didn't have the best stats every night. He didn't care about that.
Perfect guy, because how many stars How many top 5, top 7 guys would relinquish being the guy?
He was top 3 at the time.
Yeah,
Back-to-back MVPs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't gotta sugarcoat it. He was that dude. Still is. But yeah, man, yeah, there's those few guys in sports. Baseball don't really matter. But I think KD and Rogers, that's kind of like a comp, huh? And then Steph and Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Aaron got 1. Katie has none without Steph.
That's facts. Yeah, Aaron did get that one. He
had to win that one, bro. It's crazy he only has 1.
What do you think the Vegas odds were after Aaron won that Super Bowl in 2010? He was probably in the league for like 4 or 5 years at that point. Like he probably would have been plus 400 to never win another Super Bowl.
It's hard, bro. I don't know. It's hard to win a Super Bowl, bro. It's fucking hard.
That was 13 years ago, and he's been in the NFC Championship.
I gotta tell you, huh? 2 of those things.
Come
Two
on,
hard ones.
like Eli's like the facts, 2 really good ones. Eli's like the opposite of Aaron Rodgers.
How hard were those 2 for real?
Bro, blood, sweat, and tears. Every game. You don't even know, man. Had to beat the 17-0 Patriots. Eli almost had to leave the game in a wheelchair in that 2011 NFC Championship game against the Niners. That was back. I get so mad now whenever I see them throw the flag for a defensive player landing on the quarterback, because every play in that game, the Niners would put their shoulder, like they would dive onto Eli with their shoulders after like the ball wasn't there anymore. And nothing ever happened because of it.
Yeah,
but it's a different game now. They want to protect the quarterback. I think it's still ridiculous that Eli played in the era he did, and he still never missed a start.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy, dude. Look at the hits they took back then. Man, good days. DeMarcus Ware blitzing him off the edge on the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Odell cooking Orlando Scandrick. He was always getting cooked. Or Victor Cruz. He'd have that guy in hell. Claiborne, that was the other one that would always get cooked. Yeah. Like, they were solid, but they were just always on highlight clips.
I know.
I don't know if the defense just left him in a lot of one-on-one looks deep.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm sure you've had a long day. I know you had work and then coaching and all that stuff. So brother. I'll let you get that critical sleep.
Appreciate it,
I will see you next week. We got no UFC this weekend. Kind of tough. We'll have to be on the lookout for Bellator. PFL, any of that. You can catch some good fights in PFL.
You can
catch some really good fights. Bangers. All right, then. Until next week.
Right. Thank you, everybody. You're good. I said thank you, everybody, if you're still listening. Appreciate you. You can hit it.